Show. We are in the peak of summer, and it is now the perfect time to get out and have some fun if you haven't been already. But did you know that all this planning, all these activities, they might actually be stressing us out?
Here to tell us more about the impact of summertime stress and how to handle it is award-winning journalist and the author of The Burnout Epidemic, Jennifer Moss. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Jennifer, I think we all know what workplace stress is, but tell us what summertime stress is.
Well, I think all of us as Canadians can kind of understand that summer for us isn't 3 months. It's really just 8 weeks, 2 months. And we're trying to jam everything in. It's this finite amount of time, and that can be exhausting. We feel this sense of constant false urgency, want to pile everything in. And we've dealt with a lot of stress, as we know from the pandemic, so we're sort of at that surge capacity right now. So any sort of extra stress, we're not handling it as well. So I think this summer is actually maybe more stressful than some of the other ones we've had.
Yeah, and maybe a lot of people are suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out because we feel like we've missed out for 2.5 years of being with each other. And this could be really a big contributor to summer burnout. So how do we start to deal with, FOMO?
You're so right. And I felt FOMO was a big part of our lives pre-pandemic. And then in COVID, we kind of got this benefit of having sort of downtime, forced downtime. And then now it's like we have to get it all back. We need novelty. And the thing with FOMO, though, is that you stop actually doing things that make you feel good. It's not about your needs anymore. So we need to start focusing on JOMO, that joy of missing out.
Oh.
And yes.
Oh, I loved it.
Yes, we really do need to just feel guilt-free about doing nothing and just enjoying not being at things and not, and really fighting that need to feel these false urgencies and going out all the time and jamming everything in.
False urgencies. That's right. I truly have a sticky note on my desk right now of people I'm supposed to get back to or things I'm supposed to arrange in the next 3 weeks. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Yeah. But now I feel like I like that.
Lean into the JOMO.
Lean into the JOMO, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So let's see if you can apply this energy to holidays because as we know, people were stuck at home for a long time. So now everybody wants to go away, but when I see travelers on television these days, that does not look fun. In fact, that looks so stressful. The travel is actually adding to the stress. So what do you have to say about that?
So I travel a lot for work. I'm in the US a lot. And I have to tell you, there's been times where I felt like it was Armageddon. It was like end of days at the airport. And what I feel so sad is I see, parents dealing with kids who are crying and there's so much disappointment. I think one of the things that I've started to do is when I can, I drive somewhere, control the controllables, making sure that you're managing expectations and even having those conversations with your kids, letting them know that there's a lot going on at the airport right now. It is stressful. We might not make our flight. And if you are going to travel, I say maybe you don't need to right now, even still, but if you are going to travel, really be diligent about making sure that you're super early, ridiculously early for the airport. If you have a destination where you're getting on a cruise, say for example, or you're, have tickets to something, give yourself a buffer, a day. Just do whatever you can to give yourself that space because we're so emotionally volatile right now. Adding in any more disappointments, especially for our kids, is really, really difficult.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, let's talk about mothers for a second. We know that over this pandemic, mothers have really taken an extra big hit. And now the summertime is upon us. You add the FOMO, you add the travel. Who's planning all the camps, the activities, the lunches, the driving,
Oh my God, I'm
still
so
cleaning the house, still putting the meals together. So let's talk about how moms in particular and trying to mitigate this summer burnout. How do we manage this?
Well, in Canada, we basically just come off of being in lockdown with our kids and entertaining them. And I know I have 3 kids. I was terrible at managing homeschooling as well as work. It was tough. And so, yet I still take on that disproportionate role as the family planner, the travel planner, which I love and loathe. We're planning all these things and I sometimes feel like there's decision fatigue and I'm managing all of the stress around that. But also I find that camps too are just, they're even busier. You're packing lunches and doing all these things. So it doesn't feel very restful. And I keep saying, like, we need to model the behavior so our kids don't feel this toxic productivity. We need to make sure that they see life unscripted, being bored, you know, just letting them not have everything uber planned, just making sure that they can go and express their creativity, learn, be in nature. And when you're bored, you learn how to deal with stuff, you know?
You do.
So we need to model that.
I love that so much. Hey, listen, summertime is the time for events, weddings, and other social commitments. There's just so much to accommodate that we're left with little time for ourselves. How can we juggle that?
Well, we really do need to reduce the guilt in being being scripted. We need to feel like we can just be at home and relax and not feel at any guilt. So I say we have to incorporate the frivolous 15 into every single day. And so I put frivolous in quotes because it's not actually frivolous. It's about us doing, 15 minutes of nothing, having a bath if we feel like it in the day, making ourselves the priority for just these short amount of time. And then if we can do that more frequently, so say we do a frivolous 15, twice a day. And that is really critical to us getting the rejuvenation and rest that we need. I've been saying, maybe you stare at nothing. Maybe you sit outside and, hang out with a cup of coffee and a muffin, read Lainey's gossip, Do what is good for you for just 15 minutes every day.
And then work up to getting 15 days, hopefully.
Yes.
What are your
Exactly,
top tips and tricks for us to manage anxiety this summer?
Well, one of the things we need to do is create room for margins. And so I had this great privilege of working with Dr. Marie Asberg, and she is out of Stockholm. But what she says is that we need to just not live into the pages. At the end of our pages, we need to have room for stuff to come up. So that means creating those blocked off times. And then we also need to just remove something, remove an event, take something off, go and look at your calendar and say, should I just scratch that off and be totally fine with it and have no guilt about it. We also need to have an unscripted weekend. Basically, just take the weekend and do nothing. And don't worry about housework. Don't worry about anything.
Oh my God, I'm getting anxiety just hearing you say that.
I know. But we have to do it to reduce the stress. So we have to do that. And I say too, take something off the kids list. Cancel something.
Smart,
Cancel something on the kids list. It's not necessary. And then we also need to make sure that we wake up in a day and model the behavior to our kids. So just go out and do anything, be bored, and take, kind of go where the wind takes you and really enjoy yourself again. And,
Hey there, and thanks for sticking around. Wasn't that just fantastic? You know where you can get some more all-around great content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with all the laughs and thought-provoking chats you could ask for. So do yourself a favor, like and subscribe now.